12:35 p.m. The phone rings. I am not amused. This is not my favorite way to wake up. My favorite way to wake up is to have a certain French movie star whisper to me softly at 2:30 in the afternoon that if I want to get to Sweden in time to pick up my Nobel Prize for Literature, I had better ring for breakfast. This occurs rather less often than one might wish. Today is a perfect example, for my caller is an agent from Los Angeles who informs me that I don't know him. True, and not without reason. He is audibly tan. He is interested in my work. His interest has led him to the conclusion that it would be a good idea for me to write a movie comedy. I would, of course, have total artistic freedom, for evidently comic writers have taken over the movie business. I look around my apartment, a feat readily accomplished by simply glancing up, and remark that Dino De Laurentiis would be surprised to hear that. He chuckles tanly and suggests that we talk. I suggest that we are talking. He, however, means there and at my own expense. I reply that the only way I could get to Los Angeles at my own expense is if I were to go by postcard. He chuckles again and suggests that we talk. I agree to talk, just as soon as I have won the Nobel Prize for Outstanding Achievement in Physics. 12:55 p.m. I try to get back to sleep. Although sleeping is an area in which I have manifested in almost algeresque grit and persistence, I fail to attain my goal. 1:20 p.m. I go downstairs to get the mail. I get back into bed. 9 press releases, 4 screening notices, 2 bills, an invitation to a party in honor of a celebrated heroin addict, a final disconnect notice from New York Telephone, and 3 hate letters from Mademoiselle readers demanding to know just what it is that makes me think that I have the right to regard houseplants, green living things, with such marked distaste. I call the phone company and try to make a deal, as actual payment is not a possibility. Would they like to go to a screening? Would they care to attend a party for a heroin addict? Are they interested in knowing just what it is that makes me think that I have the right to regard houseplants with such marked distaste? It seems they would not. They would like $148.10. I agree that this is indeed an understandable preference, but caution them against the bloodless quality of a life devoted to the blind pursuit of money. We are unable to reach a settlement. I pull up the covers and the phone rings. I spend the next few hours fending off editors, chatting amiably, and plotting revenge. I read, I smoke. The clock, unfortunately, catches my eye. 3:40 p.m. I consider getting out of bed. I reject the notion as being unduly vigorous. I read and smoke a bit more. 4:15 p.m. I get up feeling curiously unrefreshed. I open the refrigerator. I decide against the half a lemon and jar of Golden's mustard, and on the spur of the moment choose instead to have breakfast out. I guess that's just the kind of girl I am. Whimsical. 5:10 p.m. I return to my apartment laden with magazines and spend the remainder of the afternoon reading articles by writers who regrettably met their deadlines. 6:55 p.m. A romantic interlude. The object of my affections arrives bearing a houseplant. 9:30 p.m. I go out to dinner with a group of people that includes 2 fashion models, a fashion photographer, a fashion photographer's representative, and an art director. I occupy myself almost entirely with the art director, drawn to him largely because he knows the most words. 2:05 a.m. I enter my apartment and prepare to work. In deference to the slight chill, I don 2 sweaters and an extra pair of socks. I pour myself a club soda and move the lamp next to the desk. I reread several old issues of Rona Barrett's Hollywood and a fair piece of the letters of Oscar Wilde. I pick up my pen and stare at the paper. I light a cigarette. I stare at the paper. I write, My Day, an introduction of sorts. Good. Lean, yet cadenced. I consider my day. I become unaccountably depressed. I doodle in the margin. I jot down an idea I have for an all-black version of a Shakespearean comedy to be called As You Likes It. I look longingly at my sofa, not unmindful of the fact that it converts cleverly into a bed. I light a cigarette. I stare at the paper. 4:50 a.m. The sofa wins. Another victory for furniture.